Wogan and welcome to the SheerLuxe Show. We have another fantastic show today filled with fab content from fashion, nutrition, food inspo, summer reading and lots more. But first up, it's a chat with the team from best dressed celeb of the week to favorite makeup buys. We're chatting all the latest in fashion and beauty. And later, creative director and all-around cool girl Ebony Francis is talking you through some of the chicest bags out there. Award-winning author and journalist Poorna Bell is here to chat all about her new fiction debut. Plus, she's sharing how and why she chooses to be single. Next, our resident foodie Sommer is on hand to share her top tips for hosting the perfect barbecue. From drinks to decor, she has you sorted. And finally, nutritionist and SL favorite Lucy Miller explains how to balance your hormones through diet, which is really worth paying attention to. But first, it's our chat with the team. So welcome, Lou, Polly, Georgina.
Hi.
How are you?
Very
good
well.
to be back.
Very good
So
to be
good.
I love
back.
how we've color coordinated.
Yes, so
white
well.
pink, white pink.
So it's like we're all corroborated
Got the summer
together.
vibes going.
Right?
Yeah,
Did we
right.
do this to match the sofa and the white wall? Anyway, so there's been loads going on this week because we had the Paris Couture Week and then you've had Wimbledon. I feel like it's one thing after another.
What's going on?
So I know for me, my best dressed of the week was Elle Macpherson. Because I just think she's so effortless and I feel like
she's so gorgeous.
and she sticks to, it's like her uniform.
Yeah.
She never goes overtly sexy and she never looks
Yeah.
granny-ish.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So my favorite was her at the Dior show.
Oh,
So,
nice.
what
Yeah.
about you guys? Polly, what was yours?
For me, it was Emma Watson at, I think, the Schiaparelli show.
Yeah,
She
so
had that
cool.
big kind of huge jacket with big shoulders. I don't know that I necessarily always think that she's like the most stylish person, but this look particularly, I think, really worked.
Yeah.
I love a statement shoulder. And she's wearing jeans with it, which is pretty cash, but I just thought she looked amazing. And I think her hair's really working for her at the moment.
I think
Yeah,
she looks much younger now, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
She does, doesn't she?
I think she had a really cool edge to it as well.
Yeah.
Just like, and I think, showing those kind of couture pieces then with denim, it's kind of bringing it back to life. And
Makes
it's,
it
realize
a
it.
bit more wearable, isn't it? And yeah, you're right. The edgier thing about her, I think, is working because I guess maybe she's just known for being a Harry Potter girl.
Yeah.
Quite straight down
I
the
don't
line.
think that's going to ever leave her.
No, I don't believe her. But yeah, I do. I think she looked great actually.
Yeah, no, she did.
And then she was
looked
sat next to Hunter Schafer, who I just think is the coolest person as well. So it was a great pick. I enjoyed it.
Georgina, what's yours?
Well, I haven't been following the fashion shows so much, but I
Okay.
have been obsessed with Wimbledon this year. And so Daisy Edgar-Jones wore this very cool kind of quite like, it's sort of like a lemony yellow, but like a lime yellow, I guess, if such a thing exists. But it's like silk. And I think sometimes when people go to Wimbledon, they kind of almost dress like, I'm going to Wimbledon, so I'm going to wear a blazer and I'm going to kind of go with it. And I just like that she could wear yellow and look a bit like a tennis ball, but she just looked super sleek. She had this like silk midi kind of, I think it might have been racer back. It just was like minimal and just age appropriate. Looked really
Very
cool. Elegant, understated, but kind
Nice.
of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
looked great.
I've been loving Wimbledon, but I have to say, I think the men look fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the men have been killing it. I was going to say my best dress was David Williams. He thought he looked fantastic the other day with his mum. Lou?
So mine was probably a show one. Mine was from the Chanel Couture show. Keira Knightley, who I don't normally
gorgeous.
say
yeah,
looks
she looks
amazing, but
amazing.
she looked so beautiful. The dress that
Yeah.
she was wearing, obviously it was Chanel. She always looks incredible, but it was just this amazing shape. It kind of came down like this. She had the bows. She just had like little kind of pixie crop, amazing sunnies. Obviously the classic Chanel shoes, and I was just like, you nailed it.
Nailed
She is
it.
the perfect Chanel girl, though,
Yeah,
isn't
she
she?
is.
Yeah.
Who was it as well? I think Natalie Portman was Dior.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, she wasn't there, but she's the Dior girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw what she wore to the Thor premiere,
Oh yeah.
and I was not blown away.
Oh, I normally love what Natalie
Yeah,
Portman
me
wears.
too. It was like a red number or something. I think a red floral thing in her head. It just wasn't killing me. Because I think it was the first time she's let me down.
Can't get it right every time, can you?
I know. So now Victoria Beckham and David Beckham have celebrated 23 years of marriage.
Wow.
And I mean, they've been through their ups and downs, but come out the other side. Is there any other couples that we are as actively involved in or care so much about as Victoria and David?
I I feel like they are the ultimate, aren't they, in terms of like public attention? But in terms of like who I personally enjoy watching, viewing, consuming, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, I just think are really jokes.
Yeah.
Like the way they kind of rip the piss out of each other a bit is kind of refreshing, isn't it? Because I feel like that makes them a bit more approachable, real relationship.
Yeah.
A bit more like you and me, celebs are just like us. But yeah, I just think they're really funny. Like,
You get the impression they have a really good laugh
good
between them, and they
laugh.
don't take themselves too seriously
Exactly.
either.
Yeah.
And they started out as mates, didn't they?
I think they did.
I think I was reading they went on a double date.
Yeah.
And but with other people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then like a year later, they kind of decided that actually maybe they can make
they're
it
better
work.
suited. Oh, I love that story.
Because you forget he was married to Scarlett Johansson.
Was he?
They married.
What a fun fact.
I didn't know that.
I
Was
feel
she
like
married before?
Yes, to Ryan Reynolds.
No, but it was
I
Blake
don't
Lively
think Blake
married.
Lively
think
was.
she
I can't even
was.
remember who Blake Lively dated before.
No,
Ryan
she was
Reynolds.
in her Gossip Girl days. I can't remember.
No, I know.
No. Oh,
Yes,
interesting.
but I am going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'll be
Let me know.
Wikipedia after.
Lou, what about you? Who's your number one?
I've got so many. So in terms of like who I want to see more of, has got to be Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. Like they're just such a cool couple, and they've done really well of staying out of the spotlight. Fair play to them. But I'm like, I want to know what is it like.
Mysterious.
So yeah, I love them. And then I used to be obsessed with Joshua Jackson and Diane Kruger, like the most amazing couple.
Yeah.
Like she is just like the epitome of chic and cool style. And I was so obsessed with Pacey from Dawson's Creek back in the day that I was like, oh my God, dream couple. But now he's obviously with Jodie Turner, and she is the coolest girl in the world. Her style is epic. I remember when she was pregnant and she was on Graham Norton, and she just had this crop top and her massive bump out there, and she was rocking it so much. So yeah, I also love them
And he just
as a duo.
seems to. Have you ever seen him looking at her on the
Yeah,
red
they're
carpet?
obsessed.
He's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And it's not for show. He
Yeah.
literally just thinks she's the best thing ever. I love it.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, they're super cool.
Love that.
Georgina, what about you?
So I chose Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
Oh, good one.
Well, I just, ever since The Devil Wears Prada, I've been
Yeah.
obsessed with her. I know, like, she wasn't the main person in that movie.
No, but
for
she
me,
is
she's
the star
totally
character.
yeah. And then he was doing a podcast, or maybe it was like a YouTube show over COVID, where
yeah,
he
the
was
Good
kind of like,
News something,
and
yeah.
it was like, oh my God, he's so fun, he's so warm. I bet their house is just the best place ever to hang out. And then I was listening to Stanley Tucci, who was talking to Dolly Alderton on her podcast, and it was about him being married to Emily Blunt's sister. And I was just like, hang on a minute, I want to go and have Christmas Day with all of them, and just, so that would be my fly on the wall.
Yeah, that's
what's
so
happening
good.
around that table.
What a fun Christmas.
Yeah. So I'm kind of branching out beyond Emily and John into Stanley
Stanley
and
Tucci.
Tucci as well. I want them all.
They're
He
circle of
was
friends.
quite. I had a crush on Stanley Tucci forever.
I
I think
He's
he's
there's
so
something
charming,
about him.
and you could just listen to him talk.
Charming,
for
you
ages.
can cook. I mean, what's
Yeah.
not to like?
Right.
Exactly.
And I interviewed him once, and I think I was so uncool because I was like in awe of him.
Oh, I don't blame you. I'd be the same.
Yeah. So my favorite is Elsa Pataki and Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to
that's a
be
good
really
one.
honest. It's only because I really think Chris Hemsworth is just so beautiful.
Can I say, I've seen him twice, both times in London, once in Notting Hill, and I swear it was on Saturday. I saw him. He drove past me.
Is he nice?
I don't know. I could only look through the window. Very handsome.
I mean, they're a gorgeous couple, but it's just when they put up videos of them dancing, or they seem to have like the best fun together. But I just, honestly, the truth is, any chance to get into their home and have a look at Chris Hemsworth.
Basically.
I'll
She's a
take
lucky
it.
lady.
She's a lucky lady. Honestly, I could talk about him all day. So it's summer, obviously summer in England, and thankfully we can all get to go away. And it's always been about when you go away, when you're in France, the French pharmacies. And there was always this big enigma about it, picking up products from the French pharmacy. So does anyone have a favorite French pharmacy buy? Polly. What's your French
I think I'm going to let you guys take the lead
Georgina,
on this.
what's your French
Shamefully, I
pharmacy
don't
bag?
know.
I do. It is not glamorous. This is a functional, practical purchase. But it's the one thing I genuinely do buy in bulk. And it's an after-bite cream. So it's called Onctos, but the one you can get in France has a bit of hydrocortisone in. So if you get bad bites that kind of swell and itch and sting, this thing, honestly, a little dab of that within like 2 days, bites gone, itchiness, swelling's down, everything. So yeah, I get it. I stock up. I bring it home.
I'm going to try that.
Because they do allow you to buy, there are more creams you can buy over the counter there that have more
strength
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I need to get hold of some of that. I got like a big bite here the other day. I was like, hey, I'm in the UK. I don't deserve this. And I'm, got a heat wave coming up. I want to get my legs out. It's a fat bite.
It's that one night where it's really hot.
Yeah.
You kick the duvet off.
That's
exactly.
And then it comes to get
When
you.
were there mozzies in London?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were. And
Yeah.
then-
They are.
Yeah, I think certain times.
It feels wrong.
It ain't
No,
good,
it
is
does.
it?
Lou, what's your favourite?
Like, as you say, it's just changed a lot. Like, I remember when I used to go and it was such a big thing that they were so much cheaper. Things like Bioderma and Aven, Aven SPF, they used to not be able to get certain factors over here. So I used to get the face one, and then there was a different body one and oil. But now you can pretty much get it all. But still, whenever I go to France or Paris, wherever, my husband gets so annoyed with me because any pharmacy we walk past, I insist on going in. And I just love looking. And we've got a picture of us last time we were in France of me literally just standing in front of this wall of amazing French products. And he was like, it's literally the same in the last one. I was like, I know, but there might be something different. So I just like to see what they have and all the other options. I don't know, it's just a rite of passage.
Well, things like the hairbrushes and the nail files actually as well. And the layout and everything. It's always just feels way more glamorous than going down to your local boots.
Yeah,
But
but
I
it looks
also-
much chicer, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
And
They
you're like,
are.
I don't know what this means. It must be great for me.
But their signs light up as well.
Yeah.
The pharmacy sign just comes.
Yeah.
It's
like,
come in.
What's yours?
I was the same. I would always go and be very excited, and then I realized the past few years it's all the same product. But I do always buy the Lene Saint Bart body creams.
Okay.
All right.
Because they are less expensive and they smell fantastic.
Okay.
And I always feel when I put them on that I'm away.
Right.
So it's always my little summer
It's a state
buy.
of mind, isn't it?
Like everything, it's a state of mind. Well, girls, thank you. Very interesting chat today. That was fantastic. Next up, Charlotte teamed up with a very stylish Ebony Francis to chat through the best, most iconic designer bags out there. And the best bit is they're all available pre-loved at eBay right now. So take a look.
Everybody knows that when it comes to buying a designer bag, it can often be better to buy pre-loved, and where better to go than eBay, who have just launched an authenticity guarantee on over 17, amazing designer brands on bags over £500. It basically means you can go onto eBay, find a bag from a seriously good selection.
Yes, already here.
And make sure you know it's real.
Yeah, how good is that?
Happy days.
Amazing.
So I'm here with the lovely Ebony Francis, creative director, stylist, and we're going to look at some of our favourite pieces from some of those amazing brands from eBay today, because there's some really good ones, aren't
There's
there?
some amazing bags. I've got my eye on a couple already.
I know, so do I actually. So should we start? Should we take a look?
Right, so first up, the LV Speedy. Now this is incredible. This is iconic, isn't it?
This is iconic.
shape.
We've got another Louis Vuitton that we're going to come to afterwards,
Yes.
but we were saying just before we started rolling that Louis Vuitton just looks better the older it gets, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I actually got one, and it's gorgeous, but I can't wait for it to get aged
Yeah.
and loved and a little bit more just worn in.
So I have to, so of all the bags that we have here, I have a Speedy. It is, hang on, let me do the maths, at least 16 years old, and it's looking good.
Yeah,
It's looking really
great
good.
conditioning, isn't
So
it?
much better, exactly, just with a little bit of wear and tear.
How amazing. What a great size, a great day bag. I
Yeah.
think you can fit everything in here. It's incredible.
How are you styling yours?
This I would just take every day for work.
Yeah.
Just whatever with jeans and a cool slide and a t-shirt, and just love that's a little pop.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely incredible.
I must use mine more actually.
Yeah, you should.
I should. So if you want a slightly aged version, this one. Should we just do this
let's
one
just-
next?
yeah, let's
okay. So this is a Louis Vuitton bucket.
Just throw that on your shoulder. Wear that in the summer as well. That little brown pop. I think that's incredible.
So cool for holiday.
What a great size.
And what a dream to be able to buy it pre-aged rather than waiting 16 years. Like
that's
I
the
have.
best. That is the best one.
This is a really good size and shape as well. Can we just open it up and take a
Yes.
look? Because That is also another really, really handy work bag. Okay, I think we should go from Louis Vuitton to Gucci.
Yes, let's.
This, I mean, the logo has really come back in the last few years, hasn't it?
Hasn't it? And it looks so current as well. It's such an iconic bag. This is the Jackie.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I think it's a bag they originally did back in the 80s, and they brought it back recently because they, you know, there was this big resurgence of the print, of the horse bit, the red and green. Everybody wanted those original elements.
Yes.
And it just is so timeless.
So timeless, and how great to get it pre-loved. Again, the leather's really worn and the fabric looks great.
It's very sophisticated, that bag,
Yeah, very
isn't it?
chic, isn't
Yeah.
it? Very put together.
If
but
you
again,
wanted to dress it
cool.
down, what would you wear it with?
I would probably wear jeans, t-shirt, make it cool, and then make the the whole logo kind of pop out and stand out on its own. It looks incredible.
Yeah, white tee.
Love that.
Baggy jeans.
Love it. I have my eye on this.
Yes.
This is insane. Now this for me is like a great alternative. It's if you don't want a basket bag, I have
Yeah.
a basket bag and I love it and I'm obsessed with baskets. But this is a really great approach to a summer bag.
I agree. This might also be a little more hard wearing than a
Yes.
basket bag, dare I
Yes.
say.
You can have everything in there, all of your kind of safety bits in there,
Yeah.
or take it out and have it kind of super slouchy. That is amazing. I have really, really loved this. It's probably my favourite one
I think
of the
so.
selection.
I think it's my favourite. Yeah. Can I just say, I don't think I've seen this bag before.
I haven't.
So it's proof that eBay has not only all the classics that everybody knows about, but also some
need
hidden
to-
gems
Yeah,
as well.
have a proper trawl through, look through all those pages, have a little
Yeah,
little
yeah.
browse through and find those
Glass of
real-
wine,
Absolutely.
take some time.
Yes, and find your pick.
Really, really cool. Something from Ferragamo now.
I feel like this shape is everywhere right now from
Yeah.
across so many different brands. So again, it's just a lovely, lovely shape, and what a lovely colour too. What real difference.
So I think the colour for me is that, I mean, it stands out in a sea
Absolutely.
of neutrals, which are all great, but I love a coloured bag,
Yes,
personally.
you do.
And the gold hardware as well, you know, it's really awesome everyday crossbody. And I think basically a lot of the high street brands are taking inspo from this style right now, aren't they?
How gorgeous.
It looks
isn't
lovely
So
against the
chic,
black
isn't
as
it?
well,
I love
you know.
that. I'm
Yeah.
going to kind of delve into kind of coloured bags, but I think that is incredible.
Yeah.
The detail is so good.
You should delve into coloured
Right.
bags. They're great.
You're trying to steer me away from the other bags, aren't you? That's what it is.
This one's mine.
Okay,
Should we talk about the Prada?
let's do it.
This is the Saffiano Prada bag, and I mean, we've talked about classics, but this really is a
This
classic.
really
isn't it?
is a classic, and like you said, the Saffiano leather is so hard wearing. You can have that for a long time, and what a great day bag. That colour in that taupe is gorgeous too, isn't it?
It's such a grown-up bag. I mean, really, it's a bag for every Asian
Everybody.
stage, this
Yes.
bag, isn't it?
I think anyone could wear that. I think you can have, I mean, my mum would love this for
My
work.
mum would love
Would
that bag
absolutely
too.
love it. But I would
Yeah.
love that too, just, into work, my diary in there, and my makeup.
And again, amazing condition.
Absolutely, because everything is in perfect condition.
It really is, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
We've looked at a couple of daytime bags now. Should we have a look at something a bit more
Let's do it.
nighttime ready?
How nice is this in the navy?
I literally think the
It's
navy,
stunning.
navy and silver. I mean, I feel like black and gold is kind of the more usual,
Yes.
colorway that you would see for this bag. I love that it's navy and silver. Black for an evening bag is great, but it doesn't necessarily work with summer dresses, wedding season dresses. So navy
so
actually
a little softer.
a bit more universal.
Yeah.
We're going to end on my
This is
personal
mine
favourite. Okay, so once again, we'll be
Yes,
fighting.
let's do it.
Do you want to? Let's take a look. This is the now iconic. It's become iconic so quickly, hasn't it? There's
Isn't
Bottega
this
pouch.
This is amazing. What a great new bag. You can get that pre-loved,
Yeah.
authenticated, and it's on eBay.
I know. There are so many bags that, they kind of come into the spotlight. There's a mad rush for them. Everybody wants them. They're really expensive. But this one has obviously really stood the test of time.
Absolutely.
So just to be able to get it a few seasons later, again, pre-loved, so much better for the environment, so much more sustainable, and again, perhaps a little cheaper as well.
What an amazing bag. This leather is insane. The weaving is gorgeous.
It's just like, it makes, I just am obsessed with it. It looks amazing with your outfits too.
Thank you. I think that is probably the pick of the day, isn't
Yeah,
it? That is
that is
it.
really good.
But like you said, how amazing you can get some amazing kind of vintage pieces, some classics,
Exactly.
and then super brand new and current.
So we have had, the most incredible
So good.
selection, so good. Louis Vuitton, Prada, Gucci, Bottega, they're all here. So head over to ebay.co.uk for all of this and a lot more.
Thank you, Ebony. I can't get over how insane those bags are. I want them all. Anyway, now I am joined by Poorna Bell, award-winning journalist and author and former executive editor at the Huffington Post. She specializes in women's issues, diversity, fitness, and mental health, and is here to chat about her debut fiction novel, which explores the societal pressures on women today, from relationships to friendships, and also reflects the nuances of life as a brown British woman in the UK. Poorna, welcome. It's so lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
I've been looking you up the past few days, and my God, you are you're an interesting character. But now this is your first book of fiction.
Yep.
And it's so fantastic. It wasn't anything like I thought it would be when I read about it. So it's based around Belle, who wakes up after an accident to realize her ex-boyfriend is her emergency contact still. So how did you come up with the idea for the book?
Funnily enough, during the pandemic, so, had a lot of time on my hands. I just wanted to write a story that basically would tell the journey that I think a lot of people were going through at the same time, which was trying to figure out your priorities in life, trying to work out what's important to you. And I also wanted to write it in a way that was funny, that was warm, but also the kind of read that you wouldn't have to struggle to get through. Because during that time, I thought, oh, it would be a great chance for me to catch up on all of my literary fiction. And I just would get through maybe a few pages and would just have to put it down. So I wanted to write something that sort of captured that thought process and that angst, really, that goes into realizing that perhaps your life isn't as full of the things that you really want it to be, and that journey of how you work that out.
So when I saw the book, I wasn't expecting it to be written in the way, those fantastic female writers like Maeve Binchy, who you get so drawn into the character. Why did you decide to write a book like this in this kind of genre?
I think because we just haven't really existed in this space before. When I sort of say that South Asian women haven't really been represented in sort of the fiction space, people always say, oh, but what about, so-and-so who won the Booker Prize and so on. And I think that South Asian female writers who are incredible have been amazing in the literary fiction space, but in the commercial fiction space, which is the space that you've just referenced, all of those incredible writers, we just aren't really there. And a big part of that has got to do with this very narrow lens and this stereotype of how South Asian women are portrayed, which tends to be, a story of trauma or a story of subjugation or oppression. And those really have been the stories that publishers will have historically validated and said, oh, okay, you can write in this space. So in the commercial fiction space, this is still very, very new for us. This is the story of someone going through something major, friendships breaking, families not being so functional. That's a universal story.
Exactly,
it happens to us in the same way that it happens to a lot of other people, obviously with different nuances there. But I really wanted those stories to be told because very often, it is improving, but very often I will switch on the TV or, I'll sort of go to a bookshop and I won't really see stories there that reflect or resonate with me. And I'm not saying that's what fiction is always about. I love sci-fi, for example, and fantasy. But it does feel very important to have women who not just look like me, but who have similar experiences to me reflected in the commercial fiction space. But also, very important to say, is that South Asian women are not a homogenous lump. We are a massive demographic that consists of several different countries, different religions. We have different sliding scales of how our parents bring us up and so on. And again, I have not felt that be very well represented.
Oh, not at all.
No,
we were discussing that earlier.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we discussed was in the book, she deals with the fact that she's, I think, in her late 30s and she doesn't have children. And we were saying that it somehow has to define a woman, that this is about, that this becomes about her life. Will she have children? Will she not? Where it should be just a part of it. So when you were writing the book, did you very much feel like, from your perspective, that this is something that you've dealt with?
Yeah, I think that, it's not a secret to say that for women, even though we have come a very long way in terms of equality, just in terms of just say, hey, we can own a credit card without our fathers having to co-sign for us. Woo! Progress. But we have come a long way. And let's say, for example, if we consider when the nuclear family first came about, which is in the 1950s. So we have come a ways since then. But I still feel like we are largely, our success is only valid if we have domestic success in a way that economic success is the general marker for men. And so if you are a woman who doesn't know if you want to get married, you don't know if you want kids, where do you sit within all of that? Like, you know, how are your choices celebrated or validated by society? And the answer is that they aren't. And that is changing. And there are, you know, a lot of people who talk about it and write about it and so on. But as a female writer, even if you're writing a character who says that they don't want kids, for example, that still becomes their defining narrative.
And you didn't want that in the book?
Absolutely not, because I just think that they're incidental. Those stories can be told by other people, but I don't think it should be an either or. I don't think it's either we do the romantic narrative or we do the narrative where a woman is defined by her choices to have neither marriage nor kids. And I feel that that's what this book is about. This book is about the fact that you can have a very full life, and those other things can be a consideration, but they don't necessarily have to be everything that gives you validation. Yeah.
And when you were writing the book, did you have a lot of fun with the characters?
I did. I did. I mean, I think that some of the characters are definitely different to how they were first written. I think that with Belle, or Beryl, which is her full name, and she just is so deeply embarrassed by it. That was fun writing that, because also I just feel that she is like one of these types of people who basically tries to insulate herself by ordering everything in her life. So if she's got, you know, her career down this way, and she thinks that she can micromanage her personal relationships with people, and relationships with people, the most beautiful thing about them is that they're organic. You can't control what other people do. And one of the things I really wanted to explore in that, which I think I do with the characters, is the dynamic that she has with her older sister.
Okay.
Because they don't get on at the beginning, and then by the end, oh no spoilers. Okay, they don't get on at the beginning, and then their relationship progresses. So yeah, but I did have a lot of fun with them.
And I know we've discussed that Belle is not based on you, but where was the inspiration for everything else?
The inspiration, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's definitely
there's aspects.
Any author that tells you that they don't deeply embed their own catharsis into their first debut fiction is telling you a lie. There are definitely aspects. So, for example, you know, there's a lot of 90s nostalgia, and there's a lot of flashbacks to, like,
fantastic.
Belle's,
You had me at 90s nostalgia. You have the whole room at 90s nostalgia.
So she flashes back to the 90s, where she goes on her first formative holiday that she has with her friends in Cornwall. And 100% that was a very, you know, formative, defining part of my life when I went on that first holiday with my friends. But I also suspect a lot of other people had a similar experience. But so definitely there were parts of that. It was very important. You know, Belle's and her friends are very much into alternative music versus like, let's say, the pop music of 90s.
So like you're talking The Cure?
Yeah, well, more like kind of Offspring, Green Day, like Nirvana, that kind of vibe. And that was really important to me, and it was really fun to be able to put in the book, because I just don't, again, I haven't really seen that before. Yeah. So definitely there are aspects of myself in that, for sure. But her as a character, no, because I think, I mean, this is such a humble brag. She just keeps making the same mistakes over and over again. And I would like to think that I have a bit more of a quicker evolution than she.
Gosh, I would like to think so too, but like, I don't know if I do. But also, you know, as we all get older, I think in the book she decides on friendships she prioritizes what's important and other friendships that aren't. Do you think that's something that as women, as we get older, we're really rubbish at, or?
I think that we are just not told that friendships require work. And I don't think that we are told that when there are fundamental points in our life, right? So whether it's when we get married, when we have children, when we change jobs, when we're just in a different stage in our lives, that will fundamentally alter our friendships, especially our oldest friendships. And so definitely for myself, and definitely for almost every single woman that I know, there has been a really painful, a growing pains really, to realize that your friendships just don't sustain themselves automatically. That actually you kind of have to recalibrate at those very different junctures of when your life changes. And sometimes I think we're incredibly hard on ourselves because when our friendships change, but we don't know why, or we feel it wasn't within our control, we kind of either get very upset about it or take the responsibility upon ourselves for that. When actually, I just think that there should be a softness around it. And it's okay, for example, with certain friends, especially like friends of mine who have kids, to just go, it's okay, I'm here if you need me and when you need me, but it's okay to let you go for a while because you've got other stuff to be getting on with and doing. And to see those friendships, I'm in my early 40s, to see those friendships kind of come back to you is honestly one of the most beautiful, rewarding things, because it just reminds you that you don't have to draw a line under anything, you know, unless it's obviously you're having a falling out with people, but you don't have to draw a line under anything. And if people are moving away from you, it doesn't necessarily mean it's about something you've done. It just means
we all take it so personally.
We do. We take it as a massive rejection. And it's not.
So now I know you were married before and you've spoken about that you're dating, but you're not putting any labels on it. And you said that, you were saying earlier that it's based on the person. If you meet someone and you just like the energy of the person and you're having fun with it, which is not the usual experience for single people in their 40s.
No, I mean, I think that, so one of the things I would say that I love about being in my 40s is that superpower that you have of just clarity. And I feel like you really sharpen what's important to you and just the stuff you just have no energy and time for because it's a precious and finite resource. And at the same time in society, it's very destabilizing because, you know, 40-something women are kind of made to feel invisible. You know, we still feel attractive and desirable, but then you have this weird narrative in society that tells you actually you're not, you're kind of past it. And I think for me, I just got really angry about that because I just thought, hang on, sorry, this is the nonsense that I've had peddled to me in my 20s, you know, so I didn't really enjoy how I looked or how I was in my 20s and my 30s. And I just thought, no, I'm just not doing this anymore. So for me, I just used a lot of that power and clarity that I felt in my 40s to just go, what is it that I want? What do I have control over? And I kind of just took control over that narrative for myself. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know, doing Wonder Woman pose in the mirror or anything. But I think with dating, for me, it's been a very specific thing of knowing what I want. I don't have like a massive end goal in terms of wanting to get married or having kids. Yes, I was married. I loved my husband. He passed away in 2015 and that's who I married. And that I don't have while I loved being married to him, I have no wish to redo that. I don't want to remarry. So actually, I've just decided, and this has served me very well in the last, you know, year and a half, which is it's connection based. It's based on the other person because I can't go into a scenario and then dump all of my hopes and dreams on this other person who I don't know what they want. I don't know, you know, what it is that they bring to the table either, how busy they might be. And I have just found that takes the pressure off.
No one can make you happy but yourself.
That's a very, very wise word.
Well, Poorna, congratulations.
Thank you.
The book is called In Case of Emergency and it is out today. So please go and buy it for your summer reading on the beach. And there will be a link in the show notes below. Now, the weather looks set to be so hot this weekend. So if you're thinking of firing up the barbecue, here's Sommer Pyne to show you how to do it in style. Thank you so much, Sommer. Such good inspo, and that rosé spritz looks absolutely divine. Now, there are many different stages through the female health journey, as we know all too well. And nutritional needs can vary along the way. Lifestyle and diet choices help create balanced hormone production, which is key as an imbalance affects your mood, weight, energy, skin, hair, the list goes on. Here, nutritional therapist Lucy Miller is giving us tips on the best way to tackle any imbalances through diet.
Hello, I'm Lucy Miller and I'm a nutritional therapist, and I'm really excited to be here on SheerLuxe today to talk to you about hormone balancing. So there's obviously lots of different phases within the female health journey, and each of those phases has different nutritional requirements. However, I'm going to specifically be talking to you about the production and the detoxification and the balance of our hormones. So number one, macro and micronutrients. We need to make sure that we're getting all the nutrients we need, and obviously we would try to get this all through our diet. However, we often find that we're lacking in things like B vitamins, magnesium, vitamin D and so on, and these can be cofactors for the production and the detoxification of our hormones. So it's really important that we're not deficient in any of them. So I would suggest that you take a multivitamin. I like the Cytoplan Women's Whole Food Multivit, and if you're probably mid-40s and beyond, I would take the 50+ vitamin that they do, just because it's got higher levels of nutrients. Number two, controlling blood sugar. This is probably one of the most important ways in which we can help to balance our hormones. So when we have an imbalance in our blood sugar, it causes a rise in insulin, and the insulin can then disrupt all our other hormones, and it can cause things like cravings, mood swings, and energy slumps. So how are we going to control our blood sugar? Well, first of all, we're going to make sure that we have protein at every meal. This is not only really important for the control of your blood sugar, but the amino acids, the components of protein, are really important for the production of hormones. You're going to make sure you have lots of fibre, so things like vegetables and whole grains, nuts, seeds and so on, because insoluble fibre is going to help to slow down your metabolism and you're going to have less sugar spikes. Try to reduce snacks, try to reduce sugary food and starchy carbohydrates. And then try not to eat too late before you go to bed. Say 7 o'clock, and then maybe you don't eat for 12 hours. So give yourself a 12-hour window and then eat again at 7 o'clock in the morning. Number three, get the right fats in your diet. Really important for the production of hormones. So medium chain triglycerides are found in things like coconut oil and butter. And then omega-3 fats, really important as an anti-inflammatory, but also for your nervous system, for your mood, and also for hormone production. And they're found in sardines, mackerel, anchovy, salmon, and herring. So quite often people don't like that type of oily fish. So if you don't, then I'd recommend you go for a supplement. My go-to would always be Bare Biology, and I like their Rise and Shine because it contains vitamin D as well. Number four, include phytoestrogens in your diet. What are phytoestrogens? Phytoestrogens are compounds found in plants that kind of mimic your own estrogen. So whether you're estrogen dominant or you're estrogen deficient, they can really modulate this. And it's found in foods such as soy, flax, legumes, which is sort of beans, lentils, pulses and so on, flaxseed, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, and oats. Number five, make sure you have lots of cruciferous vegetables in the diet, and they are things like kale, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. So they upregulate the protective pathway, which safely eliminates the estrogen from the body, and it downregulates the pathway that can sometimes be problematic to the health. So sulforaphane, which is the most potent part of the vegetable, which helps with the detoxification, the highest amount can be found in broccoli sprouts, and you can get those in the supermarket just in packets, and you can just sort of sprinkle them on a salad. So a really good way to get them into your diet. Number six, support the gut. Not only are we producing the hormones in our gut, we're also detoxifying them. So it's really important that we nourish the gut with lots of pre and probiotic foods. So think of the prebiotics as the sort of fertilizer as such, and that's foods such as like bananas, oats, asparagus, garlic, leek. And think probiotics as the live cultures, the fermented foods, so the miso, the sauerkrauts, the kimchi, the kefir. And also worth mentioning here, goes without saying, stay hydrated, important for the gut, important for the detoxification of the hormones. Number seven, foods to limit. So number one, refined carbohydrates. So this can interfere with our blood sugar levels, it can cause cravings, and it can cause weight gain. Processed foods, very little nutritional value. Again, it can disrupt our insulin and the rest of our hormones. Non-organic foods, it's not always possible to go organic, but just be mindful of the fact that non-organic foods can contain pesticides that are hormone disruptors, and meat and dairy can contain things like growth factor and hormones, which can further disrupt our own hormones. And then alcohol, we know it's not good for our overall health, but it can affect the way that we detoxify our hormones, and it can also lead to mood swings and anxiety, and can disrupt our sleep. Number 8, lifestyle. So sleep is so important for the control of our hormones. So when we have a lack of sleep, we have an increase in cortisol, our stress hormone. We have an increase in ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone. We have a reduction in leptin, which is our satiety hormone. So all of these lead to mood swings, weight gain, cravings, and so on. So exercise, obviously really important for your overall health, but can also be beneficial for hormone receptor sensitivity to things like insulin. It helps to boost testosterone, it helps with weight management, obviously really important for the control of your hormones. And then lastly, stress management. Stress can cause havoc on our hormones. It can cause insomnia, weight gain, low energy. So really focus on reducing stress where you can. So if you can take on board everything that I've said, and this should lead you on the right path for overall health and hormone balance.
So that's it. Thank you so much to Ebony, Poorna, Lucy, Sommer, and of course, Lou, Georgina, and Polly. On next week's show, Sarah Corbett-Winder is sharing her summer style essentials. There's more alfresco food with some great picnic inspo. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Kyle Richards is answering 20 questions in 10 minutes and lots more. It's a goodie, so don't miss it. In the meantime, we would love it if you could comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a fantastic day wherever you are. Bye.